You believe you could identify a psychopath, but what if the most dangerous person in your life is the one you share a bed with, or the colleague who brings you coffee every morning? Most of us are conditioned to fear the shadowy figure in a deserted parking garage. The truth, however, is far more unsettling. The real threat is often the charismatic, deeply attentive, and utterly normal-seeming person who knows your secrets. You might already sense that something is profoundly wrong, but the way you're trying to protect yourself, the way you've been taught to, could be the very thing making you their ideal prey. Today, I'm unveiling 5 little-known defense tactics that most people only discover after the damage is done. And here is the paradox. Nearly everything you've been told about confronting a manipulator is a blueprint for making yourself a more perfect target. True self-defense isn't loud or confrontational. It is subtle, strategic, and so counterintuitive that many therapists don't even discuss it. Some of what I'm about to share might feel uncomfortable, but that discomfort is a small price for the liberation you will experience when you finally see the game for what it is and learn how to walk away from the board entirely. Strategy 1. The vault method. With a psychopath, every piece of personal information you share is not a bridge to intimacy. It is a weapon being cataloged for future use. Perhaps not today, and maybe not tomorrow, but when the time is right, your vulnerabilities will be turned against you. Consider the woman who, in a moment of perceived trust, confided in a new colleague about a painful childhood trauma. Months later, that same colleague masterfully twisted that confession, using it to poison her friendships and isolate her professionally, turning a moment of empathy into a tool of leverage. This is precisely why forensic psychologists advise the tactic of managed emotional access. This isn't about being secretive or building walls. It is about strategically controlling who gets the blueprint to your soul. Begin by categorizing your personal information into 3 distinct levels: public, private, and protected. Public information is trivial, your favorite movie or the kind of food you enjoy. Private information is for trusted friends, your career ambitions, your family dynamics. Protected information is the core of your vulnerability, your deepest fears, financial insecurities, and past traumas. They have already won, because spoken words dissolve into thin air, leaving you adrift in a sea of confusion and self-doubt. To counter this, you must create a parallel track of communication, an unalterable record that is documented and verifiable. One employee, trapped in a dizzying gaslighting loop with a manipulative boss, shattered the cycle with a single, consistent action. After every single verbal conversation, he would send a brief, non-confrontational email. Just wanted to quickly summarize our discussion to make sure I'm on the right track. That simple paper trail became his shield. It was not an accusation, it was a record. This transformed the manipulator's game from a subjective he said she said battle into an objective black and white reality. Use written communication, emails, text messages, as your default. When a verbal discussion is unavoidable, follow it up in writing immediately. For high-stakes conversations, loop in a neutral third party, not as an ally in a fight, but as a silent witness. This is not paranoia. It is strategic clarity in a world of manufactured chaos. Strategy 3. Pattern interruption. Manipulators are not improvisational artists. They are creatures of habit. An estimated 80% of their destructive behavior follows predictable, repeatable patterns. Your mission is to become a master of pattern recognition, spotting the setup long before the emotional strike lands. Look for the triggers that reliably precede a manipulative episode. Perhaps it is when they are told no, when they feel ignored, or when their authority is questioned. These moments are the sparks that ignite their psychological games. Pay close attention to your body's internal alarms. That sudden, inexplicable wave of anxiety when they walk into a room? The mental fog that descends during a seemingly normal conversation? The defensive knot tightening in your stomach? These are not random emotional fluctuations. They are sophisticated biological alerts from your nervous system, warning you of a threat your conscious mind has not yet processed. One viewer shared a harrowing story. "I spent 9 years being gaslighted and another 10 putting myself back together. The best day was reading his obituary." The earlier you recognize the pattern and disengage, the less of your memories and your values as being stored in a fortified mental vault. No one is granted access unless you consciously hand them the key. Then, develop a shutdown phrase to deploy the instant you feel your thoughts being overwritten. It can be something as simple as, "That is not my experience," or "I will have to consider that." Saying this, even just to yourself, acts as a powerful pattern interrupt, preventing the gaslighting from taking root. Studies have shown this technique can reduce the emotional impact of gaslighting by nearly half. It's not just a mental exercise, it is a declaration of cognitive sovereignty. Strategy 5. The Decoy Project. You cannot extinguish a psychopath's insatiable need for control, but you can strategically redirect it. Think of it like a matador guiding a charging bull. A direct confrontation is foolish and dangerous. Instead, the matador uses a decoy, the cape, to steer the bull's immense power into empty space, leaving the matador unharmed. You can apply this same principle to a manipulator. Start by identifying what they crave most. Is it recognition? Status? The appearance of influence? Once you know their primary motivation, you can create a decoy project. Give them a target that appears significant but has low-impact consequences. Let them take the lead on a visible but non-critical task, satisfying their need for dominance without allowing them to cause real harm. For example, let them spearhead the committee for the company's social events. It gives them a stage and a sense of authority, but it keeps their influence away from what truly matters, like your career, your finances, or your key relationships. This is not submission. It is a sophisticated, strategic maneuver that protects what is most valuable by sacrificing what is not.